Well, here I am, fat again. I'm sure you didn't notice at all because you're so sweet like that. But I'm fat again. So I'm real happy that this is the first time that I've ever said that in my life, because there was only that one time that I was not fat. I don't have those back in high school when I was skinny, or back when I was in grade school and I was thin. No, I was fat then, and I was fat then too. I was a fat little Buddha baby. And I got my ears pierced when I was about 3 months old. That's what my uncles called me, Buddha baby, because I was bald and had a super fat face and these same fat ears. And the rest of me was fat too. The first time I remember kind of knowing that I was fat, besides the Buddha baby comment, was when we'd seen one of my great aunts at the Walmart, and she just talked about how cute my sister was and how chunky I was and chubby. And I remember later asking my mama what that meant, and she kind of explained it along the lines of that's why we got the 6X husky jeans, because back in the early 80s, that was as plus size as you could get, was wearing boys husky jeans. Okay, so I was talking about husky jeans, and then lo and behold, Lane Bryant came on the scene. So throughout junior high and high school, that's where I got all my clothing and accessories. So I've always been rocking that business casual kind of chic look, dressed up. That's what a lot of people would call it. Always dressy, but really that's just the size clothes that fit me. And back then, Lane Bryant and the other plus size vendors didn't cater to children and didn't make cute little outfits for children. And that's neither here nor there. I guess I was just trying to reconnect with my conversation about the jeans. So yeah, I spent most of my life being a pretty chubby baby, and I don't think that that is all just genetics or hereditary. I discovered a couple years ago that I was an emotional eater, and that had to do a lot with how we had dinner at my house. And dinner at my house when I was growing up can be pretty tense and sometimes stressful. My mom and I have talked a lot about that since then. And it was my goal to clear my plate as fast as I could, get another plate and eat it as fast as I could, and get away from the table. And so that's what I did. And I can remember several times throughout my childhood sneaking food, especially when I knew I wasn't supposed to. But I definitely got a lot of gratification out of food. It was an emotional outlet for me. And in realizing that a couple years ago, I also realized that I didn't eat just like when I was sad. Oh, by the way, that's when I realized the whole emotional eating thing is, because I always thought that emotional eater was somebody that just like cried and ate like 12 hamburgers at one time. And that's not really the case at all. You don't have to cry. You don't have to eat 12 hamburgers. You can execute all of that with just eating maybe 1 or 2 hamburgers or several burgers throughout the day, and using your emotions as a connector to that, so that you're getting fed both in your brain, through your emotions, and through your belly. And so that was kind of a turning point for me, was realizing that. It didn't mean that all of a sudden I just had a miraculous transformation. What actually happened that enabled me to become quasi skinny resulted from something that happened immediately after the birth and delivery of my daughter, and that's something that I'm going to go into on down the road. But we'll just skip forward to the point where my brain wasn't working so much in the situation of telling me you're hungry, you need to eat. And the way I noticed it is that I was just becoming weaker and weaker, like picking up my little new baby. And so what I decided to do is just feed myself based on what packages said a person should be eating of that. So if I bought a box of soup and it said that the serving size was 1 cup or a half cup, that's what I had. And that's it. I just went as though that was the standard of how to eat. And I just ate when my little daughters ate, and I ate the portions that they ate, and that got me onto a track of not feeling so weak. And in my mind, I was pretty sedentary, or sedentary, and tomato, because I felt like I mostly sat on the couch and tended to my children, and I didn't really take into fact at the time that picking up children, putting children in car seats, taking children out of car seats, putting them up into their high chair, taking them down, that kind of really moves your activity level from being sedentary to another level of activity, if you will. So definitely not working out at the gym active, but it is a little bit more active than maybe I was giving it credit for. But my caloric intake that I was trying to feed myself, not reduce myself to, trying to feed myself to be able to survive and be a mom. Again, because my brain wasn't telling me to eat. I had no desire to eat. There were some different things going on as a result of a brain trauma. And so back to the story. I had myself down to where thinking I only needed to eat calories based on someone that didn't move at all. And because of that, I think that is really what kind of pushed things along for me. High output of activity and not a huge input of food. Adequate, definitely not starving or anything like that, but slowly but surely over the course of a year I lost about 100 pounds. And at that time I was basically stay at home. I worked with my mom. She's forever had a drapery business. We did reupholstery together, and so that's what I did, is I would help my mom out with projects and for clients. And I had a lot of fun doing that, and otherwise I would spend my time with my daughters and building our relationship and forming positive attached bonds with them. And I really didn't have much of a life. I'll talk about that again in another video about how it wasn't so good for me to isolate myself so much as a new mom. But that's what I did. And I slowly lost that weight. And the reason why I tell you that, what's important about that, is because when that baby turned, just a couple weeks after she turned 2, I completely flipped everything upside down. Not immediately, but within those months coming up, my mom and I made a plan to move back to Arizona. I wasn't going to leave my mom in Arkansas. I sold her business, liquidated all the pieces to that business, and we moved back to Arizona, or she moved to Arizona and we moved back to Arizona. And I had a job waiting for me. That's always my calling card. I'm super planner, super look ahead, figure things out. So I had a great opportunity with a firm here in the Phoenix Metro, and the stakes were high. There was an opportunity to make a huge amount of money, and it was going to take a lot out of me, and it did. And I'm not going to use that as an excuse, but that was the catalyst that shifted me away from the lifestyle that I had, that enabled me to put those building blocks in place to lose that weight. And what it also shifted me back to was kind of the lifestyle that I had before I even had children. And that was kind of the running the roads of the high business professional woman that's so stressed and just needs to relax every now and then. And a lot of times that relaxing for me, quite honestly, is a cocktail. And because I've always had a high tolerance for alcohol, especially after I built back up my tolerance, because back again, when I had the lifestyle that led to me losing weight, I didn't drink, I didn't smoke cigarettes, and I already told you how I ate and my activity levels. So everything was pretty well set up for that to all come into place for each other. And as I shifted into this new kind of slash old lifestyle, a lot of those things fell to the wayside. I slowly started smoking again. I slowly started drinking. And I'm not going into or claiming or owning or taking away from anybody else's alcoholism. This is an issue for me because of the quantity, and the quantity is never again taking me to alcoholism issues. It's taken me to weight. This is all this inflammation, all this way that my body is now, the vehicle that I'm driving. That's because of that. It's so easy to neglect and not think about how many calories we can consume just in cocktails. And so along the line of, you know, changing jobs, changing lifestyles, you know, about a year after we moved here is when I met my husband. We started dating, and it was real easy to kind of, you know, go into having a couple of beers when we hung out, to, you know, hanging out for a longer period of times and having more than a couple of beers. And then when we combined our families, it again just became so easy to have another drink. And we're on the patio. That's what we do. We're in Arizona. We're by the pool. And well, it's built up. Clearly, it's built up to where I was exactly where I was before I lost the weight. Exactly. So I basically, over the span of about 2 good years, I just slowly put back on all that weight. And I can't make any excuses besides that. I can acknowledge and I can be accountable for the choices that I made, for sure. And and there's a lot of things that I can admit in there, like I never knew actually falling in love was going to be such a big deal for me, that I was going to kind of have to allow that. Like most people just, fall in love. But I'd been single my whole life, and, you know, I had to unpack my proverbial bag, like over the course of, you know, a year of dating, and now we've been married for, I think, 2 years. And I finally feel like I've gotten that bag mostly unpacked, that emotional bag of just the stuff that we all carry around forever. And I'm not all of a sudden to wear this, I can't stand my body. I really haven't bought very many clothes at all. I've pushed myself to kind of fit into what I had. And my dear sweet mama, who, you know, can't stand to see anybody's belly bulging too much, because she's a good Southern woman. She's been, you know, giving me a little pair of shorts here, give me a little shirt here. I guess, though, that I won't look so fat. That's what good mamas do in the South, is they help us not look so fat. Anyway, God love her, and I'm grateful, you know, because I'm not going to spend money on it, because I know that I'm going to reconnect with positive ideas and positive solutions to get my place back to my body back to a place that's comfortable. And I know a lot of you know what that's like. Don't think about how you look. I tell you, that don't matter. We'll talk extensively on another Weight Loss Wednesday about getting rid of fat girl mentality. And there's probably fat guy mentality too. And that plays a huge role, because, and there's plenty of YouTube people out there I've seen that, you know, claim body dysphoria over their post-weight loss life. Like they can't deal with how they look. They don't think they look as good as other people see it. And I really think that that's a part of the whole fat girl, fat guy mentality issue that we all have to get through if we're going to be successful on that other side. So for me, it is not at all about how I look. I've always been fat, and I've always been the cute fat girl. So whatever, this is how I look. I can rock whatever. What matters to me is how I feel. I don't like carrying this weight now that I know what it's like not to. And I never knew that, but I know now. So I can't forget that. And the second thing is I know too much about inflammation and being healthy and living a whole food lifestyle and what that means to our overall health. And my girls have, I remember when I first started putting the weight back on, they would, you know, knead my belly like a kitty cat would and kind of make little comments about how I was getting big like Nana. And, but you know, life is life, so you just kind of try not to let your children be bullies to you, not to other people so much, but they don't get what they say. And, and I used to say, you know, that I was really happy to have lost the weight in the past so that I could be a positive role model for my daughters. But now what really is the biggest driver of all is I just want to live a long time. I want to live as long as my great-grandma Daisy. I want to live well into my 90s so that I can be around for my children. I was thinking about it this morning, and besides Grandma Daisy, there's few people in my family that have lived past their 60s because of diabetic-related illnesses, because of high blood pressure, because of things generally to do with being fat. And I beg the universe, I beg God, I beg my belief system all the time to just let me live until the girls are as old as possible so maybe I could see my grandchildren. But I know I play a huge role in that, and that is that I've got to take the very best care of this vehicle that I call my body from now until then. I'm gonna turn 42 next month. And this is it. I am prepping my body for the next 30, 40 years because that's what I plan on doing. I'm gonna live into my 90s and I'm gonna play an active role in that by nourishing my body and exercising my body and taking very good care of my body and honoring my body. And I invite you to come on this journey with me. Next time we'll talk about what I'm doing right now with intermittent fasting and where I started out a couple weeks, and I'll show you some pictures of, well, I don't have to show you pictures of when I was fat. I mean, it pretty much looks like this. But I'll show you pictures of what it looked like when I got down to my smallest points. And I hope that you'll jump into this journey with me. I've seen so many like after the fact, like now I've lost all this weight and look at all my photo flip videos of my weight loss journey, and I'm gonna take you right here, right along with me. So you're gonna get to see when I'm not doing so great and maybe I puff back up, and when I get back on track. And I'm on track right now, and I want to be your motivator and your supporter, and I want to inspire you to figure out how you want to feel and how you want your life to be in this vehicle. Forget about how you look. Whatever. Everybody looks their own crazy look, all right? And your look is your luck. But what matters more than anything is your health. Do you have kids? Do you want to see their kids? Do you want to see your grandkids? You know, do you want to get off some of those medications? Then let's do this together. Let's join in. Let's start today. Today's October 3rd. I really started a couple days ago, but you can start with me today on October 3rd and share with me what your weight loss journey is. I've got an email somewhere in my about page. You can shoot me an email. I'm here. I want to be in this journey with you. I'm not just some la 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 person. I'm as real as they get, and ask anybody. This is always have been, even this emotional. So have an awesome day, and just think about today. What's one thing that you could maybe subtract from your life right now that would take you one step closer to your health goals? Is that maybe drinking less today? only having a cocktail on the weekend, not having any sodas, or maybe only one on the weekend. Just take one thing, and each day we'll do that. We'll just take one thing so that when we come back together on Wednesdays, you'll have 7 things, 7 little baby things that you did that got you on track to the journey that's going to take you to all of your health dream goals come true. So I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Come back. Or as I always say, y'all come on back real soon. Hey, listen, if you like this, please do like this. But please note that I'm not an expert on weight loss. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a health practitioner in any means. So if you've got some specific health issues, heck, if you've got a doctor at all, then talk to your doctor about the concerns that you have when it comes to your personal weight loss journey. I just want to share with you things that have worked for me and encourage you to try things so that I can share with you my weight loss story and I can hear all about yours too. If you've got a question, please put it in the comments below. And if you've got a tip or something that would help everybody else, please put that in the comments as well. That way we can all learn and grow together. If you found any value today, check with me on Wednesdays because I'll be right here talking about my journey through weight loss and where I'm going with my weight loss journey. So y'all come on back real soon and we'll be right here.